Hello, my name is Kyra Dowling. This is my video response to the first short assignment, responding to the fourth question about John Locke. The question states, does John Locke provide a convincing case with regard to the central role of discipline in education? Discipline is the central role of education. It can be sorted by John Locke's view of installing discipline at a young age. Children can be treated as rational beings, and a person's happiness or misery is their own doing. Those were the 3 points that I agreed with John Locke, and I am going to show you why I agree with those points. The first one is the quote I took from the textbook on page 144 says, "The need to install self-discipline at a young age." This is important for children. Why is it important for children? Children at a young age are tender. Their minds are moldable. They are easily manipulated. Children don't know anything until we tell them, until we show them, until we provide the information for them. So with saying that children should be receiving the idea of self-discipline at a young age, yes, absolutely, because that is the best time where we can help them grow with it, where we can help build the foundation of self-discipline and add on top of it as they grow, as they mature, as they come in contact with more experiences in life. My second quote I had from the textbook was on page 150, and then it is that children are rational beings. They are rational creatures. Why? Because from a young age, we are giving them experiences. We are giving them information. Children want to communicate with you from before they can talk. They are doing gestures. They are doing noises. They are pointing. Children want to communicate. They want to be seen as a person, as a real being, as a human, before they're even able to vocalize that. So we need to assume that they are rational. That being said, because they're rational, we give children, I don't want to say the words incentives, but we give them proof that we are understanding each other. We are communicating with one another. A child grabs for something on a shelf that they cannot reach, we know that they're communicating to us that they want something. They're showing us that they want something. They are rational even before they can verbally say or speak their mind towards that. Now going to my third point, that is on page 145, and that says, men's happiness or misery is for the most part their own doing. Yes. Again, I agree with this point. Children are given education from a very young age on this idea of self-discipline, how to communicate with one another, when the right and wrong time to do something is. We are watching role models. We are watching people. We are gathering that information based off of what the educators in our life are portraying to us. Now, what we do with that is our own choice, depending how much self-discipline you have gained in the vital years of the young growth mindset, of the manipulating years, of the formulating years. What you do with that information does alter your happiness or your unhappiness based off your prior life experiences and what you choose to do with those. Now, something that I do want to mention to disregard the idea of discipline and the idea of wisdom and liberation and the idea of citizenship. Those are all forming personality traits. To me, we're forming the discipline. We are forming the citizenship. We are trying to form this wisdom. We are forming the liberation. We are educating to form humans to be what we want to see in the world. Yes, I like it, but the way I would love to see it is through attitude, through goodwill in people, through kindness, through compassion. I think instead of the idea of forming this discipline or forming this wisdom or forming this citizenship from a young age, we instead show light on the positives of good attitude, the positives of kindness, the positives of compassion, when to use those things, when not to use those things, the differences on how to interact with humans on an everyday basis. So, do I disagree with the idea of discipline? No. Do I disagree with all the ideas of how the main goal of education? I don't disagree with them, but I do see them as forming a personality, forming what we want to see, instead of just educating on how to be their own idea of that, their own choices of that, their own way of discipline, their own way of wisdom, their own way of citizenship, through the main goal of showing kindness, showing compassion, showing how to be a good, genuine person, and how to share it, not only just to be that person, but to also be able to educate others on those positive outlooks on life. Now, going back down to quotes that I found outside of the textbook that agree with the debunk of the idea of forming a personality, rather than just giving light to how we want to be treated as people. Now, all of these quotes are from The Greater Good in Education, a article website that professors, doctors, they give their insight on the importance of different topics. And the topic I chose was the kindness, the compassion, the idea that these things are very important and vital, instead of formulating, just providing the information and showing what good can be given to the world through those aspects. Now, the one quote says, "Compassion and kindness are deeply rooted in human nature. Our first impulse is to cooperate rather than to compete with each other." So again, it's the natural go-to being kind. We naturally want to do those things. So why don't we just build off that? Do we naturally as people have discipline? Do we naturally as people have good citizenship? Do we naturally as people have this wisdom? Yes or no? But it's proven that naturally as people, we want to cooperate. We want to be kind. We want to have compassion. We want to be a good person to others, because we feed off the reward, because we feed off incentives, because we feed naturally off esteem. Another quote I found from that was, "Children's understanding of kindness and compassion change the way they mature." So the way we teach compassion, the way we teach kindness goes over time. It can go down to sharing, and all the way up to how to build relationships, how to keep relationships with friends, family, significant others. There's a wide range of the idea of kindness, the idea of compassion, and where those aspects fit throughout life. And the last quote I wanted to share was, "Too often we underestimate the power of a touch, a smile, a kind word, a listening ear, an honest compliment, or the smallest act of caring. All of those have the potential to turn around a life." And that is by Leo Buscaglia.